There's a word that gets thrown around in entrepreneurial circles and self-help circles, personal development circles, that I am genuinely sick and tired of hearing people being referred to as. And that word is consumer. Now, I live in the United States, the good old US of A. I'm grateful to live here. And the economic machine here is capitalism. So purchasing power drives this economy, drives this financial system from the perspective of the masses, at least. And this word consumer was created in the Industrial Revolution to track human spending behavior. But even though these entrepreneurs, much of them may come from a place in their hearts of empowering people, as it is true, you do vote with your dollars. Where you spend your money, your time, and attention is far more important than an actual vote. This is how you truly vote. This is true. You are so much more than being reduced to your value simply being in terms of what you spend and how much you spend. You are so much more than that. The human experience, as David Icke would say, being a point of consciousness experiencing itself in a human form, is so much more expansive than the labels you associate with and what you spend money on, the brands that you associate your value with. And this is a great tragedy for the human soul when someone allows themselves to simply identify as being a consumer. Now, some of you who are new to this channel, if you go watch my old videos, you notice I've got sunglasses on. And that's a reference from the great John Carpenter movie, They Live. Worth a watch, starring the great Rowdy Roddy Piper. So in that movie, you see Rowdy Roddy Piper gets these sunglasses, and when he puts the sunglasses on, he sees the world as it is in this capitalist culture he's living in. He looks at all the advertisements on Madison Avenue with the sunglasses, and all the glossy models turn to these disgusting alien forms, and the sexual overtones to indulge people in buying the products. He sees the truth of the core of this advertising. He sees the words obey and consume. Obey and consume. Obey and consume everywhere. You see, when you identify as the label of consumer, you're reduced to basically being livestock, fodder for a system. Fodder for a system that is driven by the few who control the many. And this is yet another mechanism of how you're controlled. Not a mechanism of power, but a mechanism of control. See, when you understand that your consciousness is priceless, your consciousness is so much beyond this material realm, and that you have the spark of God within you, you have the God spark of creativity, and you have the power to co-create with God, with the other expressions of God in this physical realm, then consumption is meaningless at that point. Brands become meaningless. Labels, dopamine hits, pleasure seeking becomes meaningless. Our modern consumption is information now. Now people are getting addicted to consuming information, cluttering their minds with opinions and voices and endless yammering that has very little value to the essence of your life, but it's still going back to identifying as a consumer and thinking that consuming more and identifying as a consumer has power and makes you a powerful individual when you do that. But it does the opposite. It strips you of your worth, strips you of your self-respect, and it strips you of your power. So take your name back. Take your essence back. You're not a consumer. You are a sovereign, creative being, a co-creator with God. So claim that. Claim your I am and live it. And when you do that, when you become even one beacon of creative energy in a world lost in consumption and addiction and distraction, then you set the field where others can remember that they can do the same. And then instead of just being someone who identifies with consuming junk that excites your brain for a few seconds and then you throw it in the dumpster the next, you become someone who is creating something of substance, something of lasting value. And you reclaim your birthright and walk with the power, the energy, the vitality that you were meant to live with and meant to be. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission. I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, claiming my I am, and I'm so much more than that. But that's what you know me as. That's all good, and I will see you on the other side.